Welcome to the next episode of Biology Career Insight podcast. I'm your host Manish Kumar, and in today's episode, we'll discuss the different career paths that a master degree holder can pursue after a degree in biology. So broadly speaking, there are like 6 career paths that you can take. You can either pursue career in research, you can pursue career with the government office, you can work for the private sector, you can work in education, and you can also work for legal sectors and stuff like that. And finally, you can also work for NGO. These are the broadly speaking, 6 areas that after masters you can work for. So let us go one by one. What are the opportunities in these different areas? So for a career in research, if you want to work in a research lab, like a research assistant or a research associate, you can apply for different scientific research projects happening. You can contact the PI, you can write them, and you can work. So there are plenty of opportunities because in biology there's a lot of research happening. There's a lot of fund being invested by every government, in each country, and these positions are quite easy to kind of get in. However, the progress is quite slow and the remunerations will not be that much, So, however, after several years of experience, you can go on to become, say, lab managers and then, you can also transition into industry where you will be paid a bit more. But if you want a better research career, I think it is always advisable to, pursue a PhD and a postdoc so that you can shape yourself as a researcher well. The second career option is, of course, working for the government sectors, and there are several government agencies, that require, say, individuals with expertise in biology. For example, you can work as an environmental scientist or a natural resource manager. You can work for regulatory agencies that oversee food and drug safety, or you can also work in the public health sector. So, these notifications always keep on coming. You have to keep a track of the government notification, and you will see that there are opportunities. However, I must say these are very limited opportunities. Very limited vacancies are there, so it can be really tough to kind of get a position there. But yeah, keep looking, and you are of course eligible to apply. See your luck if you can get into. I mean, good enough. Yeah. Third sector, and I think the most important sector because it recruits a lot of people, is the private sector. And in the private sectors, individuals with master's degree in biology can work, say, for a pharmaceutical, biotechnology, or a medical device company. And also for agricultural companies, for example, right? So here I will explain which kind of jobs are there in the industries, because many biotech graduates, they do not know that, these kind of jobs exist. So broadly speaking, in the private sector, you have, of course, the commercial roles, like sales, marketing roles. Then you have the R&D roles, right? Like where you can work as a scientist, as a junior scientist to start with. And as you gain experience, you can also work as senior scientist and stuff like that. You can also work as research associates, because there's a lot of R&D going on, especially in big pharmaceutical industries, right? So this is one career path. Another career path is in actually quality management and stuff like that. Of course, you have to do some additional certifications. And sometimes, a company will hire you and then they will train you. If it is difficult to go directly, you can also do some certification in quality management and work at the quality management side of the company. And the fourth thing in the company is actually operations or strategic planning. So in the operations, you can be project managers, you can be purchasing managers, procurement managers, operational manager, commercial operation manager. So you can also work in this kind of, you can take a project management certification, or you can acquire some knowledge, with internships, and then you can also work in operations. So these are like, broadly speaking, any company, you will have sales, you will have marketing, you will have, you will have operations, you will have quality management, and then, of course, if it's a big company, then of course it will have its own R&D unit as well. So these are the kind of jobs that you can get into private sector. So fourth career option that you can pursue, if you're passionate about teaching, you can pursue a career in education. However, you can, with a master's degree, you will be able to kind of be a teacher in, say, high school, not in, say, colleges or universities. Of course, some junior colleges also accept people with master degree to be a junior professor and things like that. So in India, for example, you have to qualify the NET examination, and then be eligible for teaching. So you can have a NET degree, and then but it's not a degree; it's just a qualification. You have to clarify NET exam, and then you can be a teacher, either be in the private colleges or some government colleges. But if you want to be a professor, of course, you will have to study further. You have to do a PhD and stuff like that, and then you can pursue um, a more full, like a more paying, say, teaching career. But of course, I mean, if you like teaching high school students, that's a very good path to take. um, Fifth is like the legal route. So either you can directly employ yourself in a firm that does a lot of patent filing and stuff like that. Any legal firm that does a lot of patent stuff, you can work as a associate, help all these patent attorneys with scientific documentation and stuff like that. That's like, it's paralegal activities, because you will not have a law degree, so you cannot practice yourself, but you can, of course, you can work side by side to the patent attorneys, and you can help them uh, with a lot of scientific documentation, because you have a solid foundation in science. However, if you want to become patent attorney yourself, then of course you have to acquire a legal degree. And many people after having their masters, they go for this career option. So you can think about it. The sixth career path is working for an NGO. So like graduate can work in non-profit organizations, because it's a very fulfilling career, especially if you want to work for, say, wildlife conservation organization, environmental association groups, environmental advocacy groups, because with the climate change and things like that happening, I think there's a lot of NGOs which which are working in this direction. So that's a career path that you can think of. And of course, health related, there are many health related nonprofits, right? So that is also one possibility after a master's degree. So in conclusion, a master's degree in biology can open doors to a wide range of career opportunities. You can choose to work either in research, government, private sector, non-profit organizations, education, or even become a patent lawyer. So each of these career paths, remember, it will provide you a unique opportunity to make a positive impact in your own respective fields, right? So thank you for listening to this episode of Biology Career Insight podcast. Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll be discussing more exciting career opportunities in the field of biology. So first, I am trying to make broad, podcast where I'm giving a generalized view of what are the career opportunities available. And then I will try to invite guests from the different fields, and we will go in depth of each career path. So I have, I have a great network in the biotech field. And I have friends who work, as legal attorney, as patent attorneys, or they work as a R&D senior scientist in a biotech firm, or somebody's working as a marketeer, somebody's working as a product manager, somebody is working as a project manager. So I will try to kind of have a podcast interview with these successful people in different fields, and that then we will go much more in depth about this special career option. So stay tuned, and subscribe the channel, because if you subscribe the channel, it will be easy convincing the guests to come on our podcast. So like, subscribe, share, whatever the term is. So do that, and I'm sure these podcasts will be helpful for many students. I wished I could have such kind of things during our time, because we had very less exposure. But I've been doing this for quite some time that, I'm trying to uh, help, say, students right after, getting into my PhD. So yeah, I was working as a founder of Biotech Dhaba, trying to help a lot of students. And now I think, it's a good time to make a podcast where like I already developed a lot of connections with super smart people in different fields of biology. And, I think perhaps it's a good time to give back to the society. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.